W-O-L-V-E-R-I-N-E-S. Wolverines, Wolverines, Wolverines.
Don't wait too long. Get it out.
Rotate.
I wasn't worried about this, John. I know, I appreciate it.
Senior football players, the class of 2014. Deshaun Osbrooks, Victor Bilberry, Dante Broadus, Dejon Brown, Don Cassidy, Chris David, James Eggleston, Anthony Hunsenpiller, Jaquan Jones, Trayvon Mathis, Devin Nixon, Harry Randall, James Roney, and Michael Smith.
Hi again, fans, and welcome to this Week 9 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Last Friday night, it was senior rec here at the Wolverina, and Woodland Hills defeated Peters Township 42-9, clinching a home game in the WPIAL playoffs. This Friday, the Wolverines travel to Penn Hills to take on the Indians in an old-fashioned rivalry in the Southeastern Conference. We're going to sit down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak to talk about last week's victory over Peters Township and preview this Friday night's game against the Indians. We'll also let you see highlights of last Friday night's game. All of that and more on the pregame show right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Wolverines. Let's go, bust out.
Owen under center, hand off to Ubbinger again. This time the Wolverines are all over it. Owen bobbles the football and is brought down by James Eggleston. Owen straight drop back, looks to his right, and it will be intercepted by Trayvon Mathis along that far sideline. Handoff, Minjock met in the backfield. Will be returned by the Wolverines' Chris David from his own 17-yard line. David finds a hold of the far sideline, 30, 40, to the 50, still on his feet on the cutback inside of Peters Township territory, 30, 25, still on his feet to the 20 and brought down at the 17-yard line. Randall handoff, Tompkins bouncing it to the outside. He has the end zone if he can turn the corner. Inside of the 10, inside of the 5, and into the end zone he will go. Owen again on a designed run coming to the near side right. He will be hit and he will be brought down. Hard count by Jones. Hand off to Shaw. Shaw on the cutback. Inside of the 20 to the 15. Jones in the shotgun with Shaw to his left. Jones looking left, throwing left for Trayvon Mathis in double coverage, and it's a Woodland Hills touchdown. Straight drop back. Randall has Art Tompkins wide open. 35-40, 45-50, 45-40. Cutting it to the far sideline. 30 gets a nice block. 20, 15, 10, 5. Into the end zone he will go unscathed for a touchdown. Snap high. It'll sail over the head of Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg retreating. He will be hit once. Eludes the first Wolverine. And then two other Wolverines make the tackle. Hand off to Art Tompkins. Has a hole as he'll spring into the 20, across the 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Art Tompkins. Randall off of play action, steps up into the pocket, has a receiver open, and Joel Shaw, 45, still on his feet inside of Peters Township territory. Pistol formation again with Tompkins behind Randall. Randall off of play action, waggles to the right, steps up into the pocket, looks down the middle, second touchdown pass of the day to Trayvon Mathis. He'll hand off to Capan. Capan loses the football. Woodland Hills will pick it up. Running with it is Jihad Brown. Brown down the near sideline. Will finally be forced out of bounds. Dropping back to pass is Randall, rolling left. Now rolling back to his right. He'll throw it down that far sideline, and it is caught at the 1-yard line. And into the end zone goes Jamond Dunn. Pistol formation, Jones will hand off. And it is Nigel Henderson juking inside of the 30 to the 25 to the 20 to the 15. Off of play action goes Jeremiah Jones. Runs to the far side, looks to that far boundary, and he will find Michael Smith. Off of play action. Jeremiah Jones will step up into the pocket. Running to the near side, picks up some blockers in Ghanem and Henderson, and it's a first down for Jeremiah Jones. Pitch. Capan running to the near side. He'll be hit and he'll be brought down. Woodland Hills all over that one as Kevin Solomon was deep in the backfield. 42-9, Woodland Hills defeating Peters Township. The Wolverines are now 6-2 on the season and 6-1 in the Southeastern Conference. Peters Township falls to 4-4 on the year and 3-4 in the SEC.
Hi again, fans, and welcome to this Week 9 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. I'm Adam Gusky here, sitting down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. And Coach Novak, before we talk about this week's big game against Penn Hills, let's take a look back to last Friday night's game at the Wolverines against Peters Township, a big victory. And you guys struggled a little at the beginning, but then really rolled through the second and third quarters.
You know, we knew that Peters Township was coming in there because it has playoff implications, and that they'd play us tough, and they did. Last year they played us tough also. They have an outstanding quarterback, good offensive line. I think the first quarter we had 3 offensive plays and a punt, and they had the ball the rest of the quarter. We were fortunate the defense bent, but it held them to just a field goal. And then we were able to score early in the second quarter, and defense tightened up, and they didn't get much yardage after that.
One of the defensive players that really shined, especially in the first 2 quarters, was James Eggleston. Let's talk about his performance.
Yeah, our whole defensive line's been doing very well, and James Eggleston has spearheaded. He had his best game of the season. He had 9 solo tackles in the first 3 quarters. He didn't play much. He didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. Played limited time in the third quarter. Most of that was in the first 2 quarters. He played a very good football game, and he also played some at tight end. You know, James is doing a great job for us. He's a big kid, runs very well. Also on the defensive line, Wolford Clark's doing a great job. He doubles at offensive guard and plays defensive line. He's played very well for us this year too.
Let's talk about Trevon Mathis. What a terrific game he had.
Trevon just came back to us from a broken hand. He was playing offense or defense most of the season. We won in the beginning. He was on offense, and he came back and he had 2 touchdown catches, and he just had a great game.
Talk about his performance defensively as well. He had the interception, plus did very well in coverage.
He's a Division I player. Trayvon comes off, plays very well defensively. He's one of our cover corners. He also plays well on offense. You know, he had the big pick on defense, which is a big play for us, and he caught the 2 touchdown passes.
Chris David's another defensive back that's been seeing a lot of action on the offensive end, but he had a huge kick return as well.
We got some athletes, and Chris is one of them. He plays very well defensively. He plays safety or corner. Had some great plays all year. A couple picks, a couple touchdown passes. He's also a good blocker, one of our team leaders.
Not often you see a quarterback pass just 4 times, complete all 4 passes, 3 of them for touchdowns, and totaling 185 yards.
Harry had a great day. You know, he twisted his ankle a little bit and came out for a while, and Jeremiah Jones went in and threw a touchdown pass, but Harry's been playing very well for us. He's got to be a double threat running and throwing the football, and he's turning into that. The guy that really I thought had a great game was Art Tompkins, who came in for Miles because Miles didn't play last week, and he filled in at running back, did a great job, had a running touchdown, had a great catch and ran for a touchdown. He had a great day for us, and he also plays safety.
He's an incredible athlete. Talk about his speed, first of all.
He's one of the faster players on the team. You know, this summer in the camp, he was timed at a 4.39. Anybody that runs a 4.4 is very, very fast, and, you know, we got a couple of them.
Coach, you talked about him catching the ball. Good to see him still stay in at slot back as well as line up at the tail.
Yeah, we have different sets. We have different groupings we use with our personnel, try to utilize our speed and get our guys the ball in the open space.
You've got your big horse coming back, Miles Sanders coming back off of the injury. I'm sure you're glad to have him back in the lineup.
He looked real good at practice this week. He's real fresh after a week off. He had a bruised foot, healed up. I mean, he could have played last Friday, but we decided it would be best to rest him.
Let's talk a little bit about the Penn Hills Indians. Before we talk about the Indians themselves, talk about the history of this game. We've played Penn Hills at least one time every year.
It's a big rivalry. You know, it's our crosstown rivalry. You know, dating back to 1987, back and forth. pretty close on wins and losses with them. It's always been a great game, great battle. It's a friendly rivalry. We play them in all the sports, so it makes it more interesting. And both our players and their players, they know each other. A lot of them are related. We have parents of our players that went to Penn Hills. They have players whose parents went to Woodland Hills, so it makes it a good rivalry.
Obviously, they're no longer a threat to knock you guys out of a home game in the WPIAL playoffs, but still a very formidable opponent.
It's a big game for the WPIAL as far as seeding and everything else. When you win, the better your record is, the better possibility you have for a good seed in the playoffs. But, I think the rivalry is the most important thing. But it's a big game in the playoffs, too.
Specifically about the Indians, what are we going to see from them?
They're a wide open offense. They run the pistol with the jet option as their main offensive play, and it's like a triple option where they run the jet play. They do it very well, pulling the guards, leading out in front. They have some great speed also. I think they match up with us with speed. They have a couple running backs that hit inside and run the ball very well. And then their quarterback is a track star. He's very fast. So, it's a third at a time each, so you got to cover all three of them on every play because the quarterback can break it anywhere on the field.
How about their defense?
Defensively, they're a multi-defensive unit. Last week they ran a 4-4 against Mount Lebanon in the first half, and then they came out in a 3-5 the second half. So they kind of been going back and forth depending on the team they're playing and the different sets they use.
Coach, it's week 9, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. The Pittsburgh Steelers last season nominated you as the NFL High School Coach of the Year, and you were the NFL runner-up. Talk about that honor.
It was a great honor for me as a coach to be recognized by the Steelers and nominated, and never thinking you'd come in, and there's a lot of work involved with preparation for them. They want a lot of information on you. Yeah, it's like joining the FBI. I think it took a couple days just to prepare everything to send in, and I was honored to be recognized and be one of the runner-ups.
Coach, one of your alumni also starting to get that recognition again. His first start after being injured for quite a while, Rob Gronkowski, 100-plus yards on 8 catches and a touchdown.
Yeah, Rob's just a great player, a great athlete. He has a lot of heart. He just has fun playing the game, and he's at the right place. And he's a big timer. He's potential All-Pro someday. If he stays healthy and does the right thing, and he's a good kid. I'm just honored. I know, anytime I get recognized, it's not just me. It's for all the guys that have coached for me and with me, and all the players I've had at Steel Valley and at Woodland Hills. Thousands of players have gone through, and when I get recognized, it's an honor for them. And when Rob gets success, our program gets recognized, and that's a big plus also.
Coach Novak, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck this week against the Indians. We'll talk to you again before the home game in the WPIAL playoffs next week.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
We'll be right back with more of the pregame show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Wolverines! Let's go, bust out!
Again, fans, we thank you for joining us for this Week 9 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. If you can't make it to Penn Hills this Friday night, you can always tune in on our flagship radio station, AM 1550 WZUM, on the web at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com. We'll also have our live radio broadcast on the MSA Sports Network at msasports.net. We'll have our live cable radio coverage on Monroeville Comcast Cable Channel 13, Penn Hills Comcast Cable Channel 98, and Verizon Fios Channel 37. And as always, we'll have television replays on all of our TV affiliates and our YouTube channel. For everybody at the Woodland Hills Football Network, I'm Adam Gusky, and we'll talk to you next week from the playoffs. This has been a presentation of the Woodland Hills Football Network. Watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and as always, visit us at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com.